Bragg Soldier, 23-year-old Kellie Bordeaux. Friends say that she disappeared one night last April after leaving a bar in North Carolina, and now some newly discovered remains are raising some new questions about her disappearance. Joining us now, Kellie's sister, Olivia Cox, and her brother, Matt Henson. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
So this latest development, there have been some remains that were discovered, the eastern training area of Fort Bragg. How do you feel, Olivia, I'll start with you, about this latest development and that it could possibly be the remains of your sister?
To an extent, there's relief to finally have answers, but at the same time, nothing is confirmed, so you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
Matt, how do you feel?
Kind of the same way. You know, it's always one of those questions whether it's going to be her or not, so we just have to wait to see if it's confirmed or not.
Olivia, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. What will it be like there for the family that Kellie's not there? Also, I understand her birthday is coming up soon. When is her birthday?
2 days after Christmas is Kellie's birthday.
So tomorrow for Thanksgiving, how do you feel going into that?
You know, spending the holidays without Kellie, it doesn't feel right. You know, when we celebrated my son's birthday back in August, we're missing a part of our family. We're missing Kellie, and so it's extremely difficult.
Matt, what about you?
I mean, yeah, it's just really hard. You know, I have a 5-month-old baby now, and I'm sure she'd love to see her aunt. So
yeah. So still holding out hope.
Hopefully we get answers. Oh yeah, always, always.
Now, Olivia, I want to ask you about this. Your sister, she was last seen with a gentleman, his name was Nicholas Holbert, and he was working at the karaoke bar that she was at that night. She'd gone and she sang some karaoke, enjoyed her evening. He says that he dropped her off the night she disappeared outside of her neighborhood, drove her home. You then received a text from your sister, but you say the timing doesn't add up. Tell me about the text and tell me what doesn't add up about that.
The bar that she went to it's 0.8 of a mile from her house, and the text messages from the time that she says she's leaving the bar to the time that she got home, it's a 40-minute window. It doesn't take 40 minutes to go 0.8 of a mile.
I mean, literally, you could walk the distance in less than 5 minutes.
So, I mean, that's why I don't believe them.
And so, Matt, do you think that Holbert is responsible for Kellie's disappearance?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's the last person to see her, and with his past, you know, it's stupid not to think otherwise, really.
Mm-hmm. His story doesn't add up.
So do you think that the investigators could have done more at this point?
I think they're doing everything as quickly and as efficiently as possible. They don't want to go too quickly and miss something or possibly jeopardize anything. I think they're doing a good job.
You know, I have to wrap you up here, but just quickly, I want to give you an opportunity to say a final word about your sister. What do you miss the most about her? What do you remember most about her? She was a combat medic with the 44th Medical Brigade. Want to get that in there as well. Olivia?
I miss everything about her. I mean, I talk to her almost every day, text message or call, or, you know, my son misses her. I miss, you know, listening to the two of them talk and make videos back and forth. I miss seeing her smile and having her around to just make us all laugh and goof off with her.
Well, all of our prayers are certainly with you, and you know, hopefully this will all turn around. Thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate it on this day.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. For more on the investigation, let's turn now to Rod Wheeler. He's the former D.C. homicide detective and a Fox News contributor as well. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Heather.
So it's been more than 7 months. What do you think investigators can discover at this point if the remains are, in fact, Kellie's?
Well, the first thing, Heather, I do want to say, I think I applaud the family for keeping this story in the media. And let me tell you, that's the best way that they can bring Kellie home, is by keeping the story out there. And so I applaud the family for that. Not only that, but that really assists the police department a lot, because, you know, a lot of the work that the family is doing is really helping the department, because they don't have to go out and do that legwork. Now, as far as the remains are concerned, it's very early. As a matter of fact, it's too early to make any kind of a speculation in terms of whether or not the remains are Kellie's. But what I can tell you is that if the remains are Kellie, it will, in fact, give the family some degree of closure, but they really won't get final closure until that person responsible for abducting or taking her away is brought to justice.
Yeah, and at this point, they can't even determine if they are, in fact, human remains, so definitely early in all this. When do you think we will know that? When can we expect to determine whether or not they're human, whether or not they are her?
Right. It's going to take a while, Heather, real quickly. Let me tell you and the viewers why. Because anytime we find remains as badly decomposed, obviously it's been out in the elements, the weather, maybe even buried underground. The police hasn't said exactly how they found these remains, so I think it could take up to 30 to maybe even 45 days before we learn anything specific in terms of who or what the remains are.
Okay, Rod Wheeler, thank you very much for joining us with your insight. And
Thank
anyone
you,
with information on Kellie's whereabouts is urged to call police. Call this number, 910-433-1856, or Crime Stoppers at 910-48.